Most people are completely missing LinkedIn's biggest opportunity right now. While everyone's fighting for scraps in the feed, there's a feature that literally sends your content straight to people's emails for free. Plus, it gets massive reach too, without you having to spend a penny on ads. I'm talking about LinkedIn newsletters, and in this video, I'm going to show you how to set yours up, the exact strategy behind it, and how you can use them to generate leads for your business. But before that, let me tell you 3 things about newsletters that are absolutely mental. Firstly, when you publish a newsletter, LinkedIn notifies all your subscribers, every single one. Think about that for a second. There's no other way that you can notify all of your followers that something is happening at once. But this gets even better because sometimes LinkedIn will send notifications to all your followers too. So you're getting reach beyond the people that have already subscribed. Now, secondly, when someone follows you, LinkedIn automatically sends a notification to prompt them to subscribe to your newsletter too. You don't have to ask people to subscribe. LinkedIn does it for you. So you don't have to feel pushy about asking people, and your numbers keep increasing on autopilot. And thirdly, and this is the best bit, when you publish a newsletter, LinkedIn automatically sends a notification to all your subscribers' inboxes. And I don't mean their LinkedIn DMs, I mean their actual email inbox. No more fighting for attention in a crowded feed, and no more posting and hoping that people just magically happen to see your content at the right time either. Because with a normal newsletter, you need landing pages and email sequences and all that technical stuff. But with this, LinkedIn handles everything for you. Now, there are a couple of other big advantages too, but I'm going to save those for later. Because I know what you're thinking, Chris, this sounds too good to be true. So let me show you some real numbers. On screen, you can see the performance of my most recent article, okay? 1,188 views. Not massive, but still pretty decent. However, I'm not too concerned with the article views. What I'm more interested in are the other 2 metrics. LinkedIn sent this article or this newsletter to 2,500 people. 2,500 people. That's crazy. Not only that, more than a quarter of them opened it. But even if they didn't open it, they're still seeing my name in their inbox, and I'm still giving them personal brand recency. I'm staying top of mind. For those that did open it, they got to consume some of my long form content, and I didn't have to do anything. So let's jump in and look at how we can set yours up. And trust me, it's dead simple. So this is the technical part, but I've still got loads more nuggets and takeaways in the second part of this video. So if you just come to your home screen, scroll down on the left-hand column, and you'll see newsletters. Click that. All we need to do is click Create Newsletter. And here is where people mess up straight away. They call the newsletter something boring like monthly updates or industry insights. Don't do that. Give it a proper name, something that feels like a series that they can follow. So for the title, you've got about 30 characters, and for the description, you've got about 120. That means we need to use them wisely. For the description, you want to be really clear about what people will get and who those people are. So weekly strategies for coaches to attract premium clients. Perfect. Now you can click this upload image button and upload a logo. This doesn't need to be anything fancy, just consistent. Use Canva and create something simple that stands out with your brand colors. I've used a really random one here with tiny writing, but this follows you round. It acts as the thumbnail, so make sure it's eye-catching. Now the final thing that you want to do before we click done is select how frequently you're going to publish. I suggest going with weekly or bi-weekly. I don't think monthly is enough, and daily would be insane. You'd have to be an absolute content machine. The good news is, though, you're not tied to this. Like, I've skipped weeks and it's absolutely fine. I've gone for weekly, but I recommend one of these 2. Once you've done this, just hit done and the setup's complete. But here's what happens next that most people completely ignore. Launching your first edition or your first article. Your first few are crucial because LinkedIn gives them an extra algorithmic boost. So don't waste this opportunity with weak content. So before I show you how to technically set up each edition, here's a framework that I use for the structure of it. You want to start with a quick story or observation. Something that happened to you recently, a conversation that you had, an industry insight, that kind of stuff. Then teach one thing. One clear, actionable takeaway or thing that they can learn from and go away and implement immediately. Don't try to cover everything, pick one topic and go deep. Next, link to something valuable. This is one of the most exciting parts about newsletters for me personally. You can link out to stuff. So that could be a free resource, could be a YouTube video or a blog post, something that extends the value. Then finally, end with a really soft CTA or call to action. Ask a question, get a reply, ask them to download something, show them how you can help them and what steps to take next, that kind of stuff. But only pitch your services directly once every 3 or 4 editions. The goal here is to build trust first. But now we've done that, let's talk about how to actually make them look good and start attracting eyeballs too. All we need to do is click this create new edition, and we're greeted with a few different things. All right, we can upload a thumbnail, which we'll get to. We can have a title, and then we've got the body here as well. What I usually like to start with is the body. So you can literally just paste in content from anywhere else, anywhere you like, and you can make it nice and spaced out, etc., etc. Okay, pretty simple. But the good thing is you can start to put in links. You can make content bolder, or you can have a subheading of some description. You can make it italic. So it's very different to the likes of a normal LinkedIn post. You can also put in quotes. I think you can add code as well. And you can also embed images and videos, which we'll talk about shortly. The most important thing here, though, is to make it scannable. You want to use short paragraphs, bullet points, and bold headings too. A lot of people will be reading this on the phone, on the train, or on the toilet or whatever, so make it easy to digest. Ideally, you want to aim for like 400 to 800 words to start, but anything that's long enough to provide some form of real value, but short enough that busy people will still actually stop and read it. After this, I like to look at the title. The title is super important because that is the biggest thing that people will see aside from the thumbnail, which we'll get to next. For this particular post, I am just using something that I've already written. So we want to make sure that it evokes that curiosity. In this case, copy these LinkedIn posts. They'll blow up your business. ... Immediately, people are going to be like, well, what are the LinkedIn posts? I want to blow up my business. What are they? And we'll get that click. But after the title, we've still got this, our header image, aka the thumbnail. Let me tell you why this is so important. When you publish each edition, LinkedIn forces you to post about it to your feed. This is good because it gives you the chance to push it out to new people. Here's what that looks like. I'll bring it up on screen. For the most part, it's just like any other LinkedIn post. You've got the copy at the top, you've got the thumbnail image, which is clickable, and then the box at the bottom that shows people that it's actually a newsletter. But there's one mistake I see a lot of creators make, and that's the thumbnail. They use stock imagery or some bullshit picture that has absolutely no relevance. The thumbnail is the visual hook. Get it wrong and you'll get no clicks at all. So how can you get it right? Well, I think the best thing you can do is head over to YouTube and look for the biggest creators in your industry. Which videos of theirs are getting the most views? Because videos with thumbnails barely get clicks, which means they barely get any views. And chances are, once you've searched about a bit, you'll start to see a pattern. The rule of 3. Face, text, and object. Because typically, good thumbnails have a face with a relevant expression that tells a story, a 3 to 5 word headline or text hook that creates curiosity, and occasionally an object that adds to the intrigue or the story itself. So if you want more clicks on your articles, make sure you got some of these elements at play. There are loads of templates for YouTube thumbnails on Canva, so you can find one you like, customize it, and then make a template so you stay on brand. Now, the massive benefit that I didn't mention earlier is that LinkedIn articles are ranked insanely well by Google. So if they're well written, you can pick up traffic from outside of LinkedIn too. What I'm basically saying here is make sure you include a few keywords. That's as deep as my SEO knowledge goes. Now, before I tell you how to get leads from your newsletter, let's cover one more major sticking point. What the hell should you write about? The biggest mistake I see is people trying to be everything to everyone. Your newsletter should have a clear focus. If you help coaches, write for coaches. If you work with accountants, write for accountants. Don't dilute your message trying to appeal to everyone. And I keep mine super simple. I do one of two things. I either post my YouTube video from a few weeks ago, or I post a reworked YouTube script from a few months ago. That way, there's no extra creation time for me. The easiest content strategy in the world is copy and paste. However, you might want to do something different. If so, here's what I recommend. About 50% of the time, be tactical. Strategies, processes, frameworks, stuff that people can implement immediately. 30% of the time, mindset and perspective. Challenge a few common beliefs and help people think about things differently. The rest of the time, about 20%, personal. Stories from your business, lessons you've learned, behind the scenes type stuff. This mix will keep people engaged, but it also positions you as someone relatable and knowledgeable. For topic ideas, just look at the questions that your clients are asking you all the time. You can easily turn a question into a newsletter. Or you could revisit your highest performing LinkedIn posts and do a slightly deeper dive. Alternatively, just pay attention to conversations that are happening in your industry. What's everyone talking about? And more importantly, what's your take on it? Just these things alone should give you hundreds of ideas that you can take into the future. And now you've got that, finally, drum roll please, we can talk about the thing that you actually want, leads. And this is where most people completely bottle it. They build a newsletter, get subscribers, and forget to actually make offers. Your newsletter should be a part of your sales journey, not separate from it. Every edition should move people closer to working with you, even if you're not directly pitching. So in most editions, after I've given the YouTube video or the reworked script, typically I'll just link to a free resource. It could be a training, could be a tool. What this does is help me capture people's email addresses and take them off platform so I can communicate to them elsewhere. And if I do anything else, it'll usually be a client case study or an interview. Not a brag post, just a genuine story and how we help that person solve their problem. For example, I did one a while ago about Helen, one of our C2C clients. She went from being burnt out and anxious, actually worried about money, to landing 30K in 10 days, just under. I'm not selling, I'm storytelling, but the implication is clear. Now, occasionally, maybe once a month, I will make a direct offer. If you're struggling with X, here's how we can help. The key is the ratio or the balance. Provide value 80% of the time, make offers 20% of the time. But anyway, let's wrap this up. Hopefully, you can see that LinkedIn newsletters are absolutely mental, but only if you use them properly. So if you want to learn how to implement a LinkedIn strategy that actually gets you leads and clients and not just vanity metrics, then you can check out this video right here. I've helped hundreds of coaches and consultants build six-figure businesses using LinkedIn without any cold DMs and without any ads either. And in this video, I go through the exact roadmap. But whether you want to watch that video or not, start your newsletter this week. Don't overthink it, just start. Because your future clients are waiting to hear from you. I'll see you in the next one.